Good morning, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I am going to start off today using the Say and mixing it with a foundation. I'm going to fix it with the Super Stay by Maybelline because that one is quite heavy and quite full coverage, and I prefer it not to be. So I'm just going to mix these two on the back of my hand. So you're going to have to live with my hand looking a bit weird. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. For me, it's finally going back to business as usual. We managed to survive the antique fair. It was really fun to work there and meet all the clients and meet some new clients, and yeah, it was amazing. But it's very nice now that it's over, so I get to go back to work and do everything that I haven't been doing for the past couple of days. Well, literally, I have been working on the antiques fair for a few weeks now, but I've been managing my workload on the side as well. But now I have to go back and do the rest of it. And I haven't opened my mailbox for probably 4-5 days now. So that one is going to be swamped. So it's going to take me half a day just to get through my emails, I guess, which I'm not looking forward to. But it will be nice to get back to normal, well, somewhat normal. I am preparing for the trip that I'm doing on Friday. We are flying off to Amsterdam, as I've been telling you. I still have a bit of rosacea going on in my forehead. Can't really do anything about that. I am taking a little bit of the foundation and going to try to cover it a bit. I'm just stippling it on. It's no point in me trying to cover this with concealer. I can do it if I use a spot concealer. I usually use my Lisa Eldridge pinpoint concealer. If I have like one red dot, I can use that one without it looking really cakey. But otherwise, if I start applying too much, it will just look weird. So it's better to just take a little bit more foundation and stipple it and hope for the best. There we go. That is the base done. Just gonna wash it off with I'm gonna go and wash it off afterwards. So we are still doing our Natasha Denona mini palette collection. These are the ones that I've gone through, and I have 3 left. I still haven't managed to find the Triachrome, so I'm not going to be able to do that one. I think I probably have gifted it to somebody else. Today I think I will be using this one. This is, I can't even see what it's called. It's called Mini Sculpt, I think. Mini Eye Sculpt palette. And the colors are fair, light medium, medium, deep, and black. Those are funny names. Well, I don't mind them. I think they're brilliant. Easy peasy. I'm putting on some Primer Potion by Urban Decay. Same procedure as every day, just to make them adhere a little bit better. It looks like it's a very grey and wet day in Stockholm today. Hopefully it's not too cold. Yesterday we had about 10 degrees and sunshine, which is lovely. Hoping that spring might be here actually. Oh, have a little black dot, little mascara dot. Come on. There we go. I'm starting off with this shade. Can't remember what it's called now. What brush up I'm going to use. Very well organized, as you can see. I'm using one of the old BH Cosmetic brushes. Sorry if the light keeps hitting. It's when I put down my mirror. I keep forgetting that I need to put it face down. I really, really like this lighter color because this one is a perfect transition on me. It is very, very light. I understand that for most people it's probably a bit too light, but for me it's actually a color, which I'm super duper happy about. I only wish, my only pet peeve in this palette is that I would prefer the light shade to be proper, like white. If they could have taken this palette and put in the white in this, that would be awesome. That would be my dream palette for sure. Really like this one. And I'm kind of grateful that she did one that didn't have any shimmers. I mean, although I love her shimmers, I think they are brilliant. It is nice to have like a proper matte that you just can bring with you. I'm going into the lighter, like I would call it a vanilla shade, and putting it on my brow bone. It is turning a little bit yellow on me, which I know. It is at least giving me a little bit of lightness. So it is getting me a little bit of highlighting effect, not much, because it's almost the color on my face. Same as my t-shirt. I'm off-white. There we go. And I'm mixing it with a slightly darker shade and just mixing it up a bit. There we go. And I'm taking the slightly beige shade underneath my eyelids. This one is so fair that I'm not being very careful with it. I'm taking a big fluffy brush. I normally wouldn't do that under my eyes, but this one is so light, so it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna get a little bit of darkness underneath. I'm gonna go in with another darker, even darker shade. This one is really good because I have quite white eye bags. Lovely. You can really see that I'm tired because my eye bags have been horrid this morning, which they normally are if I'm a bit exhausted. We have been working hard, so that's good. I'm then going in with the slightly deeper shade a little bit further down. I'm turning this into quite smoky eyes. I'm going to take that a bit further down in my crease and then down on my eyelid. So I'm making a soft smoky eye. It looks much darker when I look in the viewfinder. or on my camera in this instance. If I look in my mirror, it's actually quite a soft smoky eye. Then I am going in with the even darker shade, and I'm using black as a liner. So this I'm just placing on the outer corner. There we go, and then I'm taking the lightest shade and blending it in again. So it's all about blending. Then I'm taking a smaller brush, doing the same thing. I'm going in with this slightly darker shade, close to the lash line. Sorry, I'm keeping my head up. Sorry, weird mascara face. And then I'm taking the darkest brown, just as, like on the tip of the brush, just on my outer corner. And of course, with this palette, you could easily do like a darker smoky look. You have the black, so it would be quite easy to make a darker kind of smoky look. But this is, for me, quite office appropriate. Going in with the black as a liner, using a smaller brush. This is also an old BH Cosmetics, I think. I have rubbed off all the lettering on them, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is BH Cosmetics. They unfortunately don't exist anymore. They were bought up by Makeup Revolution and disappeared, which was so sad, because it's actually one of the best brands of eyeshadow I've ever experienced, and they were super cheap. They had the most amazing palettes. I'm probably going to show you all my BH Cosmetics palettes, because I think that's one of the brands that I have the most palettes from. They are very colorful though, so it's not something you would wear every day. Well, I do have some that I would absolutely wear every day, but they made so many nice colors, and the pigmentation was awesome, absolutely fabulous. And I think the larger palettes, which had probably around 15 or 18 shades, they were about, I think, £16, something like that. So they were really cheap. If you're looking for another quite cheap brand with amazing pigmentation, I would go for, is it Creative Brushes? No, it's not Creative Brushes anymore. It's Creative Beauty, I think it's called. They used to be called Creative Brushes. They have amazing palettes with fabulous colors, and they are dirt cheap, in my opinion. I mean, I think they are about £20 for a big palette, but they are absolutely worth the money, and the pigmentation is insane. And I don't have all of their palettes. They also make quite colorful palettes, and I have an insane amount of palettes. Borderline need to be locked up, crazy kind of amount, I would say. I am going to use my little MAC 24 Extreme Black, 24-hour Extreme something. Can never remember what this one is called. Extreme Black in Extreme Dimension 24-hour Kajal eyeliner. What is it with brands and names that are like that? I don't get it. Need to sharpen this one. These actually, normal MAC pencils are quite long. These actually, when you buy them, they are quite small. I don't know why, but I think it has something to do with the longevity, because these are a little bit, it's a different consistency compared to the other MAC pencils. I actually don't really love the MAC pencils, the MAC Kajals. I think they are way too hard. But this one is much more creamy, which means, of course, that it stays better. So I think that's why they make it a bit smaller, because you can't use these for as long as the MAC pencils. The good thing about the MAC pencils is that they obviously never dry up. So I have MAC pencils that I've been using for probably since the early 2000s, and I can still wear them. They don't smell funky, they behave the same way, which of course is very good. While these ones tend to dry up and lose their staying power. So you have to repurchase these once in a while. But I tend to use them up because they are so small. And this is absolutely one of my favorite black pencils that I have. I am putting some on top as well to make it a little bit darker. And then I'm going in on the lower waterline. There we go. Mascara, Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme. I am going to put on some blush and highlighter for you as well. I've been sleeping on my right side because I can see my eyelashes they are a bit unhappy with me. They are standing really weird. So I'm hoping that I can get a nice eye look. Must have been sleeping on my eye. Ooh, and I bought this necklace at the antique fair. I paid 100 kronas, which is about 10 euros. Or £8, I guess, £7. I have no idea if it's silver or if it's just base metal. I didn't have a loop with me when I bought it. I bought some plastic bead necklaces and one necklace that I actually don't know what it is. Gonna have to have a closer look at that one. It's quite heavy. I'm not sure if it's glass or if it's, I don't think it's onyx because it doesn't feel like it, but it's quite cold to the touch. And it does look like it's a little bit weird. I'm considering it, I'm thinking it might be black coral. I don't know. We don't see any black coral in Sweden. I haven't come across it. But it does look a little bit too big to be coral, so it could be dyed. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to have a closer look. And I have to bring it to Scotland and show my friend Sarah because she is the uttermost world leading expert on any kind of black gems. How cool is that? She is like, I have the coolest friends. She also owns the Jet Museum in Whitby. If you want to check out her channel, her name is Jet Rock Girl on Instagram. And you can find, I know that Justin Prim has some cool interview with her on YouTube as well, where she's talking about the use of black stones throughout history, which is super cool. They were using jet. They've been using it. It's one of the oldest gems that people have been using. Of course, I made a mess. It happens. Then, but I'm sorry if you're going to have to see that. Then I'm finally going to do my brows again. Still using the same boring old stuff. I'm using the Depend Twin Thin to fill in my brows. My brows were plucked away in the 90s. Thank you very much, Kevin Aquan and Kate Moss. I'm not blaming you, I'm blaming myself. So how come you pluck your brows and they stay gone forever, but you get your freaking chin hair and that takes over an hour to grow back? It's not fair. It's on the same head. Please, if I pluck you off, stay off or give me back my brows. Is that so hard? It's a lovely thing about being a 40 plus old woman. Old lady. There we go, she's got brows. I'm sorry if they are not on the same height. I am gonna have a look in the mirror when I go out and brush my teeth. As I always do, that's when I tend to notice if one eye is looking quite surprised and the other one is not. I am gonna go in with the Say Rosy liquid blush. These are really, really good. I really enjoy these. They are quite heavily pigmented, which I really, really like. Going in with the Real Techniques brush. I think I took a little bit too much, but that's okay. As you can see, this is there's a lot of pigmentation in this one. But I really like this color. It's a lot more peach than I thought. To me, rosy is more of a like neutral pink. I am gonna mix it out a bit with my foundation brush, just like that. To me, it's more rosy. Would automatically, I would assume, is a more neutral pink, but this one is much more peachy in color. And then I am finishing off with my Victoria Beckham Beauty highlighting stick. I love this one. It's very similar to the Baume Essentiel by Chanel. That's another one that I really like. This one is a little bit more white. The Chanel one is clear. It's completely see-through, which is very good because you can use it on top of anything. But I like this one. And then finally, I am going to powder using my, oh, I need to remove the puff, sorry. It comes with a puff and then you have a little thing, I'm guessing to keep all the balls in place. So you put on the lid. This is a limited edition box, so the normal box looks slightly different. I don't know if there's a difference. Ooh, powder. I don't know if there's a difference in color on the normal one compared to this. I have no clue, but I like it. And I'm just coloring. I'm just brushing it on my T-zone because that's where I get a little bit shiny. So now final steps. Going into my lip liner, I am going to use the Endless Cacao one. I'm just lining a little bit beneath. I'm not much for a lip liner, I'm just putting on a little bit of shade to see that I have lips. And then I am, of course, using the Nude Something lip gloss by Armani. This is my go-to everyday lip gloss. I love this. It's a very neutral beige. So there we go, my friends. That is the finished look of the day. I hope you like it, and I'll be back tomorrow again with one of my 2 remaining. I have the Cool Sculpt and the Love Palette left to do for you. So I will see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye.